All right, so this is going to be a short one because I got a big news to make. I got to clarify one thing, and I saw something that really caught my attention, made me go, no! So welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
All right, so before we begin, let me remind you, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. Also, follow me on Facebook, Super Dario World, and I think that's pretty much it for now. Also, follow my YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing videos pretty soon. I'm just waiting on a few little things to get started, but anyway, so clarification. For some reason, I've been getting a lot of mixed messages. Some people were upset at me. Some people were like, yeah, you were right. So just to get it out of the way, I know I talked a couple times about the Corona stuff. I usually just waited for there's only good information and all that stuff. By the way, the information that has been coming out has been kind of proven my case in the past. So again, good things are happening. They did a study out in LA that said that pretty much 5%, 4% of the population probably, or they had antibodies. They did random testing. They did the same thing in Massachusetts. A third of the people tested already had the antibodies. So it's, let's say the death rate is lower and it's already more spread out than we thought. And most people didn't really have any symptoms. So all those things, they're going to add up to the whole opening up thing. Now, to clarify again, for the people who have been, who have been reaching out and saying like, see, you're one of the causes of why people are starting to go out and protest and putting us all at risk and blah blah blah. I didn't tell anybody to go out and protest. I'm the weatherman. All right. I basically saw a whole bunch of things and I made a prediction. That's it. I'm the prediction guy. In fact, I said I think protesting right now would be stupid, but it's your right. And you know who doesn't like a good protest? So why are you mad at me for? I just saw I saw the wind patterns, I saw the humidity, I saw the temperature, and I made a prediction. I am a weatherman. Get off my case. Also, I've never met just for anybody who reaches out to me expecting to change my mind on something, it's possible, it's probable, but it's very rare that I back off or become gun shy on something that I've already thought about quite a lot. So maybe I might be a little bit rude about it, or maybe I might treat you like an idiot or explain things like an idiot, but you know, that's just me. So if you ever reach out trying to make fun of stuff, cool. I'm down for it. If you attack me, I bite back. It's what I do. And also, I actually kind of enjoy it. You know that whole metaphor about rolling around the dirt with pigs before you realize that the pig's actually enjoying it? That's me. I love it. I love arguing with people. I love pissing people off. It's so much fun. I try not to do it here, but one-on-one, always down for it. Love it. Too much fun. I love conflict. It's great. Anyway, so that's out of the way. Another thing, kind of not exact. I can't exactly say it 100%, but big news in a way. All right. For those of you who might remember, I mentioned this before. I worked on a project last summer. We was hoping it would go somewhere else, but part of that project involved me spending a lot of time with a detective. And so now that detective has agreed to become on my podcast. Now, we're going to go through his mission. The thing that he was involved on is insane. I talked with this guy multiple times throughout the summer, let's say every other day for about 5 hours, over 20 times. So his story is nuts. And he's agreed to come on the podcast. And we're basically just going to go through his whole story, which is insane. If you're into gang issues, if you're into undercover stuff, if you're into police investigation, if you're into FBI investigation, all that stuff, it'll be happening soon. I'm actually, the reason why I'm going to try to keep this one short is that I have to start setting things up. We need to decide how the story's going to go because, well, I mean, a lot of this stuff, some people's life might be in danger, so we kind of have to set things up in a way. We have to set up the narrative. What's the best way to tell the story? We got a lot of logistics to do. I got a lot of logistics set up. Am I going to open up a new podcast just specifically for that? Or I'll keep it on this one. How are we going to do it? Am I going to drive up there and we're going to do it in person? Is that social distancing? Would that be a bad idea? Will we do it on the phone? It's not going to sound as great. I got a lot of stuff to figure out, okay? And so that's what I'm going to be doing for a little bit. I'll still probably keep doing the podcast, but I'll do shorter stuff. And I don't know, right now I'm excited because right now you got to struck while the iron's hot, and I got a whole bunch of ideas, and that's what I want to do. But look forward to it. hopefully, I'm not sure how we're going to do it. Like I said, I talked to this guy over 20 times, and it was always like 5-hour conversations to get through the whole story. We got to find a way to shorten it up, but and I don't know if we're going to do the whole thing and then just release a little bit, release the whole thing. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I need to figure out, and in the end, the story is the one that's going to dictate how this is going to go. What's the best way to tell it? But I'm going to work on that, and I'm really excited for it. So look forward to that. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, if possible, even by the end of this or next week. But I doubt it because again, a lot of logistics, a lot of production that has to go into it. But we'll see. We'll see because right now I think he's available, so it might be sooner rather than later. Who knows? But I look forward to that. Hopefully you look forward to that. And so now the piece of news that caught my attention today, which is very disturbing. All right, I'll read you the headline. Venom Writers developing One Punch Man movie adaptation. When I read that, my heart sank and my brain went, ah! No! Why? Now, for those of you who don't know, One Punch Man is an anime, and it's one of the more popular, it's one of the better ones that have come out in the last few years. It's the story of, as the name, it's a superhero who can defeat anybody with a single punch. That's the thing. Now, it has great action in it, but this is, at its heart, it's a comedy anime. It's a comedy cartoon. And this show is genius because it is the same joke over and over, and they find newer and creative and more insane ways to make it better every single time. It is fucking hysterical. It's genius. The build-up, the hype, everything in this show is hysterical. I highly recommend it. It is brilliant storytelling. Brilliant. When I saw the first episode, I laughed my ass off. Second, same thing. Just keep getting better and better. So I love it. Highly recommend it. They want to adapt it into a live action film. I don't see it working out. I complained about this early in the year. I said that it's probably going to go the other way. Video games adapt it into animation because for some reason, when you adapt things from animation to live action, it just doesn't work out. It's very rare. It's very difficult. And unless you're doing a series, let's say in movie form, it doesn't really work. And the closest thing I've seen it to working is probably Alita Battle Angel. But that was James Cameron. So, well, I mean, he was the producer, but yeah. I mean, Robert Rodriguez, legendary filmmaker, legendary indie filmmaker, but we know who the big kahuna there was. Anyway, so that's the closest I've seen for it to actually working out, and it's still, let's just say, I don't see a point to it for it to be a movie. It's just going to be too short. I don't think it's going to be that great, and I don't think they can pull it off because it's a special type of comedy that I don't think will adapt that well to, let's say, a live-action American film. Now, the thing that worried me even more is that this is going to be the Venom Writers. Now, specifically, it's going to be Scott Rosenberg and Jeff Pinkner. And so when I just read Venom Writers, I almost threw up. However, as I tried to, I went in and did my homework, and I was like, all right, okay, am I freaking out over nothing? Let's see. And turns out that the guys aren't as bad as I thought. For example, Rosenberg, he wrote Con Air, Gone in 60 Seconds, cheesy old school action movies from the late 90s, early 2000s. Recently, he did Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. He did Jumanji, The Next Level. I honestly haven't seen them. Why? Because I already saw the first Jumanji. It was great. I don't need to see anything more. I especially when they changed it so much, I didn't care. So, but I've heard that they're okay, at least that they're funny. So, this is at its heart an action comedy show. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, especially because I love Gone in 60 Seconds so much. So he can write a good story. I just don't know if he has done it recently. And with Venom, the adaptation was just disgustingly bad. So benefit of the doubt, but definitely not looking good. The other guy, on the other hand, Jeff Pinkner, really, really interesting resume. And the two things that caught my eye here is that he wrote for the TV show Lost. He wrote a few episodes, and he wrote a few episodes for Fringe. Both Great television shows. Some of my favorites. Brilliant storytelling, particularly Fringe, that he wrote 26 episodes for Fringe. So that's a lot. And Fringe is a TV show that I mentioned that the reason why I watched it is because in an episode of Parks and Rec, a character mentioned that, I went back and watched the first season of Fringe, and just as I thought, perfect. I saw it. I only saw one inconsistency that I caught in the whole show. So it's very consistent. It's very heavy. It's very interesting. I love that show. Brilliant performances. I have no idea why they didn't nominate the professor guy ever for anything. That's disgustingly bad. That dude should have won some stuff. Anyway, so for Fringe, I respect him. Then it turns out he wrote The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was no bueno. Then it turns out that he wrote the adaptation of The Dark Tower, which was, I haven't seen it yet, but I know it was terrible because when Eddie saw this movie, The Dark Tower, and I've talked about The Dark Tower a lot, the books. There's some of my favorite books. It's my favorite Stephen King book. I think it's one of the greatest books, greatest series ever written. And so I asked Eddie 3 questions. Did this happen in the movie? He said, no. Did this happen in the movie? No. Did this happen in the movie? He said, yes. And so 2 of those things were supposed to happen and 1 wasn't. So I was like, fuck this. The 3 key things, the 3 most, by the way, I'm not telling you which they were because there might be a spoiler, but the 3 key things that 2 shouldn't have happened and 1 should have. Well, wait, no. 2 should have happened and 1 shouldn't have happened. They did all those mistakes in the movie. So I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to watch it. So to me, it was terribly bad, even though I didn't see it. But what I saw from reviews, it was terribly bad. And what I saw from the box office, it was terribly bad. So suck it. Anyway, after that, he also has Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Venom. Now, the thing that concerns me a little bit more, is that apparently these 2 dudes are both writing and producing the upcoming Cowboy Bebop. So it's going to be a miniseries, and it's going to be the live-action miniseries. So these 2 sons of bitches could ruin 2 of my favorite animes of all time. Cowboy Bebop depends on who you argue with. It's probably, a lot of people would argue that that's probably the greatest anime of all time. To me, I'll at least give you that it's the greatest opening of all time. That's actually legit. If you've never seen it, listen to the song. I nailed that. I nailed that. Anyway, so I don't know. My issue here is they've proven that they can't do adaptations well. At least one of them, very clearly. And the other one just failed at Venom. So I'm concerned. I'm officially concerned. I saw the piece of news. I almost threw up. And then I checked their IMDb and I felt slightly better. And then I saw that they're going to be in charge of One Punch Man, and Cowboy Bebop. This is not good. This is not good at all. I'm very concerned about Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, for those of you who don't know, it's basically bounty hunters in space. Is that fair? If you ever saw Firefly, kind of very similar. Firefly took a lot from Cowboy Bebop. I don't care what Josh Whedon says. He took a lot from Cowboy Bebop. You can tell. The themes are very similar. It's a Western in space except the one's about bunny hunters. The other one is not about bunny hunters. But I've been rambling on a little bit too long. The point here is I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Fortunately, as I've learned from the world of anime and live-action adaptations, they tend to not happen. So this is one of those rare occasions where I'm like, you know what? Just fail. Please fail. Just don't make it happen. I don't think it's going to work well. Your resume so far is spotty at best, so I'd rather not risk it. Make a One Punch Man movie. An animated movie. Just live action, stay away from it. It's a bad idea. Bad idea, especially if it's going to be a movie. Series, I'm willing to have the conversation, but right now, not liking it. Anyway, that's it for today. Like I said, any comments, questions, suggestions, you can find me at Dario Show on Instagram or at SuperDarioPeriodWorld. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow.